Hello there, welcome to my accessible room tour. I meant to do this really ages ago, and I feel like I did record it before I put all my stuff in and then never got around to uploading it, and I might as well show you what it looks like with all of my things in situ. And I actually want to talk you through things because I've changed some things out that were different to how this room came and things. So yeah, I'm going to show you around. I have a premium accessible studio. There is a little bit of a bugbear about that for me, is the only accessible rooms in this building are the premium site, because obviously to be accessible they need to be more than a shoebox, which means that you end up paying a premium for something that you need, which is slightly wrong in my opinion. But on the other hand, I do actually really like this room, so I will switch the camera around and I will give you a tour. So as you come in, we have key control doors. So they're on little fobs like this. I have my sunflower lining yard and my fob so that I don't forget my key hanging up here, along with a very small kind of going out bag. And then again, I just have a jacket, a hoodie and a big thick coat. That's the equivalent of my wall. Underneath we have the recycling bins, which I just kind of use as a sorting mechanism. As in, once it's full, I know we need to empty them. Then over here we have our main bin. We have an intercom system and one of two light switches that control the main lights. This intercom system, I have one bugbear with it. It has a key unlock, and I was told that mine would unlock the main door. It doesn't, which is a bit annoying because I have to leave the flat every time anyway, and people just call me randomly because I am one, so therefore they just dial one, and I am one. So and then I installed these two command hooks to hold my towel and my dishcloth and my oven gloves. They kind of work, kind of fall off. So as a studio, I have a kitchen. This is the main part of the kitchen. There's a little bit behind me that I'll show you in a second. I have a microwave. Originally, they were a microwave combi oven. I have both a microwave now and an oven. I will show you my oven in a second. And then kettle. I don't have a toaster because I don't often have toast. And because I have an oven with a grill setting, I can just make toast in that. We have a 2-burner stove. Again, bugbear of this has a timer on it, so making things like spag bowl is kind of a bit annoying. I have my little labelled jars. See, I have enjoyed the show because I've been able to decorate things how I wanted them to be. I have a little sign here that I haven't used in a while that I decorate as well. This is a tray that goes in my mini oven. Store my cutting boards and things. This is a Fafora cup holder that goes in my wheelchair, if you don't know what that is. Draining board. Again, I bought this. It's just a pad that you can wash. And then came with a stand. It came with its own pad, but those kind of got grotty, so I just changed out for another microfiber because there's barely anywhere to store. Now, as you can notice, there's a height difference between these two, and that is because this actually goes up and down on a handle, so it's a high-low. So this is pretty much how they've called it a accessible room. Ignore my sink. I need to do my washing up. And kind of in the gap there, I've just stuck some lemonade. So I have kind of cleaning supplies there, crockery here, pans here, and then glassware and bits and bobs in there. And this is because there is no storage in this place. So this is my fridge. This is great. This is the best fridge I've ever had at uni because it's actually big enough and it's got a freezer box. And then I have this one cupboard for food. And then this isn't really very accessible because you can reach that sat down, but you cannot reach that shelf. So that's a bit annoying. And again, I wouldn't want to risk putting pans up here in case it fell on my head anyway. So I have all my glasses and then Tupperware up there. And then food in this one. And then I just have a pull-out drawer with alcohol and stuff in because it makes it easier to access. And then yeah, I have this. I installed this unit myself. Well, my parents did. It's just a cheap Argos unit. Does the job. Holds what I need it to hold. So yeah, that's that. And then this is my kitchen drawers, not my wheelchair, not my thingy drawers. So I have my crockery in the first one, toasty maker, blender, which I don't think I've ever actually used in my mixer. And then this is my chocolate drawer for my velvetizer. So then when you come in, again, this is another thing they didn't think about. If you're a full-time wheelchair user, you cannot really use bar stools very easily. But anyway, I digress. So I pretty much don't really use this for eating anyway. I use it to store this, which is my cooker. So this is my mini oven. It definitely needs a clean by now. It's well used. I love it. I got this from Argos, which means that I can cook like proper meals. The combi ovens, like microwave ovens, you can. They're not as good, and they also scare me because I don't really like using microwaves anyway. And then over here I just have my diffuser to make the air less dry, my weed diffuser to make it smell nice, a mini waffle maker. I need to dispose of the remains of my Easter egg. I have finished it. I just need to get rid of the internal stuff so I can keep the jar. And then a candle that my friend got me, which I haven't burnt, I promise. And then, yeah, my velvetizer. So this is kind of just like appliance corner. And then apparently, because I haven't put them back, it's also my physio. My front wheel kind of just ends up hanging around wherever. Again, shoes, just wherever. Then over here, I have obviously a nice sized double bed, which is great. I love having this massive pinboard as well to put up all of my stuff that I had off in like first year. Definitely missed that in second year. And then back here we just have my classic touch lamp. I've pretty much had this in every single room. I love it. I've got a little storage for articles and stuff that I've been reading. Little motivation book, moisturizer. Like this shelf is very useful. Fairy lights on both sides. One for the top, one for the bottom. And then again, you have one plug here with 2 USB sockets and then a light switch. God, that actually feels really warm. So then I just have an extension lead plugged into the socket with all the devices, like my screen and things, and stuff that I would want to be able to access from bed, so like my iPad chargers and things like that, along with the socket plugs. Then over here we have, it's a bit of a messy desk. I kind of don't have very many places to store things. It's a common theme in this room. So I just have like, again, things I would kind of need, like deodorants, perfume. But then I also have like a pencil pot, like stuff to be able to marinate, stuff for like writing, drawing, things like that. My laptop, this is a dock for my other laptop that I have for work. Again, like the Ethernet's for work. I just use the Wi-Fi on my laptop. My second screen, which has been a lifesaver this year. I'm so glad I bought one. My DSA printer actually has a home this time. It blocks like quite a bit of my desk, but it's fine because I can work in this like little space, mini small. Yeah, second laptop, headphones and things. And then obviously my DSA desk chair and thingy chair. I just got my accommodation to take the original chair away and put it in storage. So then in the top drawer here, I store all my underwear. This drawer here has a mix between tech and meds. So it's really easy to access at night should I need my meds. I don't have to go like out of bed for them because I always make sure I have water. And yeah, so that's like this kind of half of the room. And then there's a whole nother side this side that I'm gonna show you. So kind of walking into the like L shape, the bathroom is here. You have a full-size mirror. This is where I put my wheelchair when it's not in use because it needs to go somewhere. We have a radiator here. I have my stool, which I've had in my previous 2 room tours as well. This has my bags in it. It's also currently got a load of other bags that I don't know where to put them on it. I've got a mirror so that I can do my makeup sat down in here where the light's better, and that just goes down there and I just push it up against the white bar. My crutches, again, are kind of wedged here because they need to go somewhere. This just has a load of odd knobs things like cup holders for my wheelchair, bags for my wheelchair, purses in general. There, again, there's more bags over here, like my laptop bag for my work laptop. This section, again, there's just like storage of things that I don't really need anymore, and then like winter clothes and masks. And then I have a suitcase behind there. There is like, this chair came with the accommodation. I'm just using it as storage at the moment. And then this again is like one of the only storages that I've got. So up here is my laundry bag for moving stuff down if I need to go and do laundry downstairs in the communal laundry. Then we've got like a toolkit just in case, some books and things. Then I've got my textbooks, stuff that's left over from doing random stuff for uni, my brushes, and then these two shelves are makeup and kind of hair. And then the bottom shelves are drawing, jewelry, food, and like odds and ends, like cards and stuff. And I have extra food down there, like to top up my bags and stuff. So then this is amazing. This is such a lightweight vacuum because it actually is a handheld vacuum that just plugs in. So it means that I could actually clean my room for the first time, because I could never hold the hoovers because they just like dislocate my wrists. This is really lightweight. I can hold it with one hand. It pushes really easily. Love it. Not the best hoover in the world, mind, but it's good. And then you have like a double wardrobe here. So it's like a bit tight, especially with all the stuff I put there. This side doesn't have a rail. It's like they forgot to install one. So it's really annoying to hold clothes because, yeah. It either needs to be all shelves or they need to put a damn rail there. So it's actually useful because this is just wasted space. And then this side you do actually have a rail, and my shoes are all in the bottom of there. My towels up there, pretty messy. I haven't tidied it for a while. Then round this thing, I just got these stools from Dunelm. I've got one in here and one in the bathroom. This one I just kind of use as like a hair station with an extra lamp so that I've got like light down here and I don't have to have the main lights on because they're really bright at night. So again, the lamp's just plugged in there, and so is the charger for the hoover. And yeah, I just keep my hair stuff here so I can do my hair in this big mirror sat in my wheelchair. It works quite well. It's a pretty good system. And then, so the final thing, which again makes it an accessible flat, is the bathroom. Now again, I put things in here that didn't come in the flat. So obviously there's the normal grab rails and situation. This is probably like the worst, well, it's not the worst shower chair. I'm sure people have come across worse. But how did they install it this wrong? Like, it doesn't actually hold up. So you have to shower sitting down. But it's made a difference because I've actually been able to shower a lot more. I added the baskets because again, there's no storage anywhere in this place. So I added a basket here that rests on this bar so it doesn't fall down. And I just put my lighter things in that basket because it's been a bit more temperamental. You have a like sitting down shower here, and then this shower that if you're sat down using it, you'll get waterboarded. In the nicest way possible because it is angled completely wrong to be used down here. It is meant for people like standing up, I suppose, but yeah, shower chair, not ideal. I have had multiple people, including myself, go to my bathroom. You know, just how it is. Anyway, you've got like two curtains here that you just pull around. But yeah, there's no threshold, which like very low threshold, which makes it quite easy to obviously get in and out. But the problem is there's like no, if the shower's not draining, there's nowhere for this water to like hold. It just falls onto the floor, and the floor is not a wet room floor, I can tell you that. So again, here I just have a towel rail, bit wonky, needs to be fixed. I got that from Dunelm, and then we got this as well because there is no storage in this bathroom, and I mean none. Like, there's nowhere to even put a like toothbrush. So and it was a common problem, like none of the bathrooms that I've ever had have had storage in them. So this was, as you can see, kind of badly put together by me and my parents. So I just have my retainer cleaner here to remind me to actually clean my retainer. toiletries, things. I just have spare towels, cleaning supplies, things like that in the bottom shelves, and then extra toiletries and cotton pads and things in these. And then again, you have a accessible like toilet, and I've got my laundry basket. And then this is kind of really low, like in my wheelchair I just bang into this. Like, so I have a stool in here so that when I'm doing stuff not in my wheelchair I can use and sit down against the sink, because obviously it's way too low. We've got a cord here and a pull cord here as well that dial into reception, which was great when we had 24-hour security. We do not have that anymore. They've slowly made this like building completely inaccessible, but you know, oh well. So yeah, you have a razor plug, so I just plug my toothbrush in here and put it on the little tiny bin that again I bought. And then yeah, I have a sink with again no storage. And then this mirror wasn't here when I got here. We bought it and they installed it. I think they forgot to install the mirror. Apparently it was a common thing. Everyone else had like a mirror on a shelf. They just forgot to install one on mine. So we installed this instead, just because it was better. And it's installed at like a height that obviously it does work like whilst you're standing, but at the same time you can use it whilst you're sat down. And yeah, I kind of utilize the railings here as like hanging for my towel, like my flannels and stuff to dry. So that's kind of useful. Obviously they're proper reinforced grab rails. And then hiding behind there is my error. And then to hang up like the kind of things you would want in a bathroom, like my hair turban and my onesie and stuff, I just have an over the thingy storage. So that's pretty much the tour of my room. There is also under the bed storage, but I'm not going to try and lift it off and show you because I've not got anything in there anyway. I thought I would give you kind of a little thing of where I think that this room could be improved, / where they've just not thought it through. At least this is in my eyes, and this is just as a part-time wheelchair user. I'm sure people with other access needs would, you know, have different thoughts on this. But for me, even when I'm like standing, I cannot make this bed. My mum has to make it for me. Not as in make it every day, but as in like change the sheets on it, because it is so close into the wall. It is impossible. And even my parents struggle to make it. It's quite a common thing in uni accommodation to have beds against the wall because it maximizes room space, but it makes it incredibly hard to make, especially if it's a double bed, because you can't just lift the mattress out because the mattresses are too heavy. So that's one of them. At the moment, well, currently the accommodation struggled with, we used to have 24-hour security, and then for whatever reason, either the management company that like owns the property or like the company that manages the whole group of properties decided that there's not going to be 24-hour security anymore, which means that if I was to fall in the bathroom, it's okay, and I probably wouldn't need to pull an emergency red cord. But in the event of an emergency with someone who couldn't get up out of off the floor on their own, if they fell in their bathroom or if they fell in their room, for example, there's like literally no way to like call anyone. And I have fallen in here before. I slipped on the floor. That there's like basically no way that someone's going to be coming quickly, which obviously creates an access issue because you have to be sure that you can kind of basically live completely independently, like even in the event of emergency, or you would have to know someone in the building that could come and like help. But even then, like, because our doors are on locks, like I've had situations that I couldn't get out of bed and my flatmates had been able to bring me in stuff because my door wasn't locked, when my door is locked all the time. Like if my friend leaves the room, I have to let them back in. So again, like a system of being able to, that's made the building more inaccessible. And then additionally, because of the fact that we lost 24-hour security, they installed extra security doors, which on one hand is great because it means that this property is literally like Fort Knox, especially at the bottom end to try and get in and out. The problem is the extra security doors have made it incredibly hard for me to get around the building, because of the fact that there's a load of extra doors I have to either hit a exit button or hold my fob against for a while. And one of them is, the exit button is located on a slope. And it was already hard enough for me to get through that door because it was a heavy fire door and it was on a slope. And I would have to roll at it, full pelt, and push the door because it was a push door. Well, now the door won't push. You have to press the button to unlock the magnet, and I can't do that. So I can't actually independently get around this building in my wheelchair anymore. At least at the bottom in the basement. For example, if I wanted to go to the common room in my wheelchair and then come back to my room, it would be incredibly hard for me to do so. The door, like the way to get in and out of the building at the back, the ramp is incredibly steep. I'm not quite sure who okayed it, and I'm pretty sure it's definitely not the wheelchair code, because it's so steep. I very easily tip backwards on it if my wheelchair's got any form of weight like behind it, aka like a rucksack, and it's very hard for me to push up it full stop. But then Lancaster is full of steps and hills, so I don't think I can complain that much. And then additionally, like to get in and out of the building up here, there's a platform lift, and it's been a bit temperamental, but it seems to be okay at the moment. So normally I've never had a problem where I can't get out of the building, because there's been at least one like way of exiting or entering the building that's worked. But it does rely on a system of lifts and doors that make it a lot harder to get around than it should be. But yeah, like I said, the breakfast bar is another area that isn't very accessible, and it literally could have been sorted so easily because it's literally on an adjustable like height pole. So you just cut off like a foot on the pole and drop down the whole unit that's holding it up, and it would be fine. Or, you know, additionally what they could have done is added another counter surface so that there was more storage in this room, because I do feel like, especially for kitchens, this is incredibly limited. And according to my friend who also has a studio and hers is a lower tier, she has more storage in her kitchen than I have in mine, simply because of the like way that my kitchen is laid out to have the high-low platform and high-low like counter, and also to have like the rest of the things. It also doesn't make sense to me why the stove is on the higher level counter and not on a lower level counter so that it can actually be used. It's quite hard for me to use the stove as I've cooked in my wheelchair, so most of the time when I'm cooking on my stove I just have to stand. But I'm sure as a full-time wheelchair user you've kind of adapted to use things, so it might be easier. But yeah, this was a very long ramble. I do hope you enjoyed my room tour. I hope it kind of showed you kind of the issues of accessible rooms, but also the benefits of having them. Having an accessible room this year has made a massive difference to, you know, me and being able to access uni, because I've not been exhausted all the time. I've actually managed to keep my room relatively clean, which didn't happen when I didn't have an accessible room, because I was using so much energy just to live like in an inaccessible flat. I've enjoyed having a studio too. I've had my own space this year, which has been nice, especially being a fourth year and wanting to kind of focus on uni a lot this year. I think I'll just leave you and kind of show you how easy it is to navigate a wheelchair around this room. Obviously, bearing in mind I've put some stuff into the room, such as you'd be able to roll completely under the counter if I didn't have my storage underneath it. But like I said, it was kind of a needed addition. Although there was talk of putting another cupboard on top of the set of drawers so that you could at least have like another cabinet that was accessible, because the guy who does all the maintenance in this building came in when I was asking for an extra shelf in, like, basically because I've got no storage, and he was like, yeah, I see your point, like, you can't actually access any of that. So yeah, I will leave you with hopefully me managing to vlog and solve the problem my wheelchair at the same time. We'll see how this goes. I have to like keep swapping hands to do this. But basically, I'm stuck on the chair, I'm stuck on the chair, I'm stuck on the chair. Ah! Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm not facing in the right direction to go towards the kitchen. So basically, it takes a lot of coordination, but it is pretty easy to move around, especially once I get into like this part. I can just kind of like zoom around. Yes, it does make a horrible squeaking sound. I do apologize about that. It makes that sound, I think, because the floors actually do need to be mopped, but I only have a vacuum cleaner, not a mop. So yeah, they're just making a really squeaky sound because of it, like basically a year of build up in the nicest way possible. And the floors, you can get away with like the floors because they're like laminate wood. So yeah. But yeah, I can just spin myself around and tuck myself right in under my sink, which that has probably made the biggest difference, is having an accessible sink. Because before I was really struggling keeping up with my washing up. And yes, there is a load of washing up that still needs to be done. However, I only kind of wash up like once, twice a day, because I find it better to balance out my spoons, because at the end of the day, it takes you less time to run. You don't have to run the water like 3 times, and things, you just have to run it once. So it actually is more efficient, I find, to save them and then do them all in one. So yeah, that's my accessible room. Like I said, I feel like it's very unfair that I have to pay extra to have an accessible room when there isn't any other option. The accessible rooms in Lancaster are incredibly limited. The majority of you disabled students, especially ones that require accessible rooms, are basically stuck on campus because of the fact that there is a lack of accessible rooms, and because of that, it means that they're need-based, which basically means that you are scored on how disabled you are. I was just incredibly lucky that this room hadn't been let when I was looking in July, and that basically I was the only one who was interested. But in other companies, you can't actually rent an accessible room if you're an ambulatory wheelchair user, or you don't necessarily meet the full needs of someone who needs an accessible room, which again is just completely wrong. There definitely is a need for actual accessible rooms and houses in general. Obviously, I'm about to leave uni and I've been looking, and there is very, very few houses that are actually accessible for me. And I don't need fully accessible houses. I just need the ability to be able to adjust the kitchen to have a drop-down counter and have like a downstairs and upstairs loo. And you'll be surprised how many houses their kitchen is either so small that if I put in a drop-down counter there would be no storage whatsoever, or there's no room for a downstairs loo, and even with new builds, I literally got told that they won't adjust anything, which is just wrong. Anyway, on that kind of downfall note, I will wish you all a goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!